Hello everyone. In this live tutorial video, we're going to create hair in the Blender using hair particle system. So in the end of this live session, you will able to create hair like the hair that is shown in the screen, or and also you can create a different style of the hair. Now without any further ado, now let's create a new hair. So let me save. Yeah, now we're going to create first thing we going to add a UV sphere, and before carry on, let me turn on my screencast so that you can see what I'm pressing. And after adding a UV sphere, right click and then shade smooth, and go to the particle properties and then click on the plus button to create a new particle system. Right now it's a particle system in image, but we're going to turn this into here. So choose click on the hair button. It's kind of messy, but we don't need the 4 meter in length, so we're going to rid of 3 meter and we're going to bring it down to 1 meter, and we don't need the any hair right now, so we're going to we don't need, so we are going to add the number of 0. And now some of you might be wondering how you can add if it's the number is 0, but we can go to the selection and then edit particle, go to edit particle, and now we're going to add the hair from the back of the head. So press Ctrl and 1 in the number pad to go to back view, and to add a hair we're going to choose the add button out here, and we're going to reduce the hair count to number 10 from the 1. Right now it's in a one click it's at 10 hairs, so we don't want that. Let's bring it down to 1, and we're going to increase the key. Key is actually vertices that shown in the, let's go now. Yep, that's how key works. If I increase it to 10, it will add 10 vertices to one single string. So I'm going to read out this thing, and now let's start adding hair from the backside. So go to tool, and from the active tool, below the active tool, click on the options. Here we can able to do mirror, and right now it's only show in the one here, but if we mirror it, it will add the hair in the other side automatically. So now let's start adding hair from the back. Maybe in this much good. Let's add the hair by left clicking, and yep, that's pretty much it have menu. And let me add a hair to, yep, this side here. And now let's go to the side view by pressing 3 in the number pad, and then we are going to choose the comb button. Let me increase the strength, and you can comb it down like this. uh, you can do like according to your hairstyle when you arranging the hairs or grooming hair. Yeah, for me it's I'm going to straighten and I'm going to let it little bit out. That's looking good. And go to the front view. We're pressing number 1 in the pad and we're going to shape this out. And to see here in a real time, you can click on this button, children, and right now it does not shows any children. We need to enable the children from none to simple, and let's increase the number to 100 hairs. Right now it does not do anything because we need to refresh it by unchecking the children and rechecking the children. And let's go to radius and we're going to maybe increase the radius by a bit and maybe roundness. To see this in a real time, you need to go to the object mode and we can decrease the radius by this one, and we're also going to decrease the roundness of the hair. And right now it's looking too sharp. To smooth it out, we're going to go to the render view and check on the bleed spine and increase the number to 4. And we can also from the viewport strand strip we can increase to maybe 4 or 3, yeah, maybe 4. And let's go back to the particle edit and we're going to path step, increase the path steps to 6 to smooth out the hair. Now it's looking pretty much good. And now we're going to add the hair from the side view. So let's again go to choose the add hair button, and then we're going to add right now let's disable the children and we're going to add the hair. It's too much gap out here, we can fill this out. Now we have added if you directly comb this hair like this, it will affect the other hair that we have made earlier. So to avoid that, we're going to go from the top view and let's reduce some the hair. How we can reduce this? You can select you can hover over the hair strand and press L, and let's press delete the particle. We don't need this much, and let's delete some out here. Delete. Yep. Now it's looking pretty cool. We are going to select the hair. To select the hair, you can use the method of hovering over it and then pressing L in a keyboard, or you can do press B and then box select and then Control L. It's much more easier. rather than clicking L. Like this, we can box select all the hairs and then press Ctrl L. Now we can go to the side view and we are going to comb like this, comb here, and it will not affect the hair below it. And it's kind of short compared to the previous hair, so we can add length to it by pressing the length button, and we can click and then drag over the hairs like this. Yeah. And now we're going to comb it again. We increase a little bit. Yeah. And now we're going to trim it up. To trim, we can use the cut button out here like this, or you can use the length and press shift and drag. Press shift and then left click and then drag. That's how it's work. Yeah. Now we have the length that we are desired for, and now we can comb this here like this straight. We can reduce the strength and go to front view and then adjust the hair like this thing. Yeah. And let's see how it's looking. It's looking pretty good. Now we're going to add the hair from the top, and so again select the add button, and then we're going to disable the mirror mode and we're going to start adding hairs from the top. Let's disable the children. We need a few more hair strands. This it's good, and go to front view. Press Alt A to deselect anything, and then we're going to box select the top of the head here, strands, and then Ctrl L to select all the linked vertices. And we're going to add a length because it will go in this direction, so we need a lot of length, otherwise it will be kind of short here. It will be short. And then we're going to go, let's increase the strength, and we can style the hair like this. Let's decrease the strength and from the back side we're going to elevate here. And we're going to trim the hair once again. Go to the side view and shift left clicked. That's looking great. Let's comb my hair a little bit. It's looking good till now. Let's comb my hair. Let's adjust the style. Yeah, and let's see how it's looking. Yeah, it's looking pretty good till now. There's some few problems. The hair strands are sticking out. We need to fix that before we move on. Let's disable the children right now. Go to front view and press Ctrl A and go to wireframe mode by pressing Z and then select wireframe. Now we are going to box select this much. Yeah, and we don't need this one, so now we can subdivide by clicking pressing right click and select the subdivide. And what we can do is now press C and then press your middle mouse button and drag over the vertices to deselect anything. Yep. Now right click to release this, and let's go back to the solid mode, and now we can move here. So now let's press G. Oh, right now it's not moving because we have tick on the preserve strand length and our root position. Yeah, we can uncheck the root position and then G. Yeah, we can drag it down. And now let's click tick box. Yep, it's looking pretty good right now. It looks kind of sharp edged. I think we need to increase the step strength. We increase it. Maybe let's go to object mode. Let's increase the viewport stand. Now it's looking much more smoother. We have now let's add the other side of the hair. Go to the edit particle and let's press number 7, and we don't need the children right now. I think we can undo a little bit touched. We can touch over here, and let's comb here from the side view. And let's cut the hair. Yep, now it's looking totally fine. Now let's add the other side of the hair. We're going to add a hair almost like equivalent to the other side of the hair. Add, I can add. Yep. and go to number 1 and press B to box select, and then press Ctrl L to select all the links, and we can increase the length once more, and we can comb down like this. We can edit some, we can give some volumes here, and we can take it down. And now we are going to turn the other side of the side view by pressing 3 and press Ctrl and 3 on numpad. So we're going to need to increase the length, or not add but length, and we're going to cut it by shift and then drag, pressing. That's good. Now let's comb it from a back side like this. Again, it's becoming too lengthy, so we need to cut. So go to side view and shift. We need to cut here from this side too, also shift and then drag. Let's trim a little bit. Yeah. And Ctrl A, I think we don't need first two hair strands, B, and then Ctrl L select, and we're going to delete. And now let's see how it's looking. Yep, it's looking pretty good, but we can tweak our hairstyle a little bit from the go. I can decrease the strength. I think we don't need now it's looking good. So now what we need to do is we need to fill this this gap from the back, and let's go to the back view, and you can add a hair strand from go to the top view and box select all the tops, and then select all the links by pressing Ctrl L, and again we're going to in the side view, and we need to make it a little bit longer, so let's make adjustment. Again, we need some more length, and let's comb here. In this we're going to make some directional changes like this and like this. and we're going to trim this out now. Let's select length, let's trim. Let's bring back the hair. Now, now it's looking very good. If you think your hair is very much thin, you can add new hair strands, like there's some like space we can able to see from here, and we're going to check the checkbox, the interpolate and then interpolation, and we're going to add a new hair like this, and it's going to add a hair automatically from this side. And right now I don't need anything. If you need to add some hair, you can add a hair in betweens, or maybe you can add hair like wherever you like. And I think for me it's looking pretty good right now. Yep. Let's make some changes out here by I'm going to cut some here from here. Alt A, and we are going to make some haircuts. It's looking great now. Let's go to object mode. I think let's bring down the radius. We see a lot of gap. Let's fill it in. And it's acting weird. Let's add to here in this directions. Let's like this here, and let's comb. If you can also make some adjustment by adding more hairs, or in later on you can add more children from to make thicker hair particles. And maybe I'm going to increase the radius to, yeah, this much. And now we're going to add material to the to a hair. So now go to material and add it's called hair material, and now we are going to split this screen by pressing go to the joint, and then you can drag the side direction or down direction wherever you like, and from there we're going to choose a shader editor, and let's go to render view, maybe, yep, in a shader to material look. So we don't need this principal BSDF, so we're going to read off, and then we could add before adding any material, what you need to do is to add here BSDF principal. You need to go to the render setting, and you need to choose a cycle. Before that, we're going to add a light. Let's go to Shift A, and we're going to add a light, a point light, and we're going to drag it in the right side, and we're going to increase the power to 500 watt. Let's choose the interesting right now let's make let's keep the principal BSDF, because of that we are not able to see the hair. So now you can hear the we need to choose the hair strength from strip, and then we're going to add a subdivision. It will look more smoother and thicker. And before that, before adding any material to it, I'm going to change hairstyle. Let's go to particle system, and then we're going to give some style by roughness. I'm going to add a roughness of randomness, maybe it's much is looking good, and maybe threshold to 0.5. And now we don't need this. You can add a hair type from the king type. Right now it's set to nothing. We can set to curly hair if you like curly hairs. Yeah, it's curly hair, or you can do anything like radical. Right now I'm going to choose braid. And what in this field, what we are going to tweaking is the amplitude and the frequency. What amplitude does is it will make if you go to a more positive number, it will make like very curly. Yep. And I'm going to go to 0.1, maybe. Yeah, that's good. It will, if you increase the amplitude, it will add more breadth. And frequency, you can play with the frequency. Frequency will go more like a curly hair, like maybe more crisscrossing, I think. But right now I'm going to reduce it towards, I'm going to keep it kind of straight here with a little bit of waviness. That's looking good for me. Or you can choose the style whatever you like. And right now it's fairly thin here, so if you don't want this kind of hair which we can see through the skin, you can add more hairs. So right now I'm not adding any hair, so it's very fine for me. And now we're going to tweak the hair shape. Diameter, if you increase the diameter root, it will thicker the root. If you bring up to 0, it will show none. And we can increase the diameter. And next is what we're going to add is strength step. What it will make, it will change the thickness of it. Right now it's 0. It's currently showing that the root will be thicker and the tip will be thinner, and it will like transition from the thick to thin. If we decrease, then the diameter will be same all the way from root to the tip of the hair. If we bring up to 1, then it's kind of 0 because it does not show any diameter. The hair will be there, but it will show very thin. That's why we can't able to see in a viewport. So that we can I'm going to add a negative 0.2. What will it make is it will bring thickness till here, and then from this much it will like shift into thinner one, and we can find a thinner hair tips. And now finally we're going to add a material. So let's go to the render engine setting and go to select the cycle render engine, and for device we can choose GPU compute if you have a GPU in computer. If you don't have a GPU, you can compute it with the CPU. Well, I'm going to with a GPU because it will reduce the load to the computer, and we don't need the principal BSDF. Yeah. And we're going to add a good shader called principal hair BSDF because it is more easier to give a color to the hair rather than the principal BSDF. And let's go to the render view. Yeah, we can see kind of brown here. You can change the color from the color out here, like increase, choose the whatever color you like, or you have some presets like melanin concentration. It will give realistic color. If you increase the melanin to all the way to 1, it will give you the black hair, and if you reduce to 0, it will give you the white hair. But I'm going to give a color of kind of dark brown. And the melanin redness, what it will do is it will add a redness to hair color. If you reduce, then it will show total brown. It will add a redness. And yep, this is good. And here's the tint. What tint does it will add color to the hair. So right now we can choose maybe pink or reddish pink, and then if we reduce the melanin, it will give the same color, maybe more saturated color. we can get over here, but let's increase, and it will add some shades to the hair. And right now I'm going to get to the hue and saturation with going to give it white, and this will add another like layer of color. It's like a kind of coating, but we don't want the coat right now. Here's if you want to make some kind of like dry or maybe roughness, or maybe you like to have looks of kind of wet hair, then you can decrease the roughness and it will make very much shiny, like oily hair or maybe wet hair. If you like kind of love some kind of dry hair, or maybe you can increase the roughness. It will look like a kind of dried hair. Anyway, I'm going to go on this much and radical roughness, and it's pretty good for me. But there's one more problem. Let's take this lamp to the front. Right now the height is also like affected by the hair color, but we don't want that. How can we solve this? Is we're going to the material property, and then we're going to add a new material. Yep. And let's call it height. Let's name it as a height. We'll bring to the up. Now it's also affecting the hair color, so we're going to assign the sphere to the new color. So to do that, you can select the sphere and go to the edit mode and press A to select all, and you can select the height color, and you can press assign so that you can assign the color it to. But there's one more issue, that is a white hair. We don't need the white hair. You can change the color very easily. To do that, you have to go to the particle properties, and then from the rendered view, render section, in the material, click on the drop down menu and select the hair, and it will automatically assign the hair color. And now we don't need this shader area, and we can join the screen, and let's give environment color to white, or you can add HDRI if you have a HDRI. If you want to apply HDRI, you can add a HDRI. And now let's add a camera by Shift A, go to camera, and pick angle where you want to look at, and then press Ctrl Alt and 0, and it will snap to the camera will snap to the view, and press G and press middle mouse and drag a little bit to zoom out. Yeah, that's good. And let's go to render view, and for the sake I'm going you need not you don't like to activate the denoise. It will make some kind of weird things to the hairs, so I recommend you to uncheck the denoise if you have checked the denoise missing. And for the render, I'm going to do for 200 frames for because it will be still image, and go to select the sphere and go to particle, and we can also add more children to the hair strands, like select the children, maybe like render amount to 500, and let's see how it's look. Yep, it's like the hair is very much thick. I think we can reduce the hair radius. And now let's see how. It's very much thin. I think I need to increase the radius to this much, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the hair strand to let's keep it 500. Let's see how it's looking. 500 in render view. Oops, suddenly it's crashed, I think. So you can go and reopen from the temp. This is some kind of heavy. It's going very heavy. I think it's totally gone, maybe crashed. I think you need to if you want to change the setting before you do any changes, you can, what you can do is you can save the file and then you can do changes. Otherwise it will be in vain. The effort will be in vain. Yep, so this is the previous here that I have made. Yep. And you can also achieve the same result by doing the following the same process. Right now I'm going to close, and I think I have covered all the necessary the tools that we need to for tools for the to create a hair, and that's much for it. And yeah, and you can always like play with the settings to get a different result. And I think, yep, that's the live for today. And yep, let's see in the next live video. And thank you so much for being with me, and